Much like everything else in our sweet little world, working as a student has its pros and cons. Some of them can be obvious, some not so much. Allow me to elaborate. Let's kick in with some positives. Pros. You aren't as broke. Today, much like every other day in history, students are considered to be a notoriously broke social group. Young, inexperienced, unfortunate souls that just moved out of their parents right into the ever-hungry rib-breaking embrace of late-stage capitalist society. A bulletproof formula for one ply toilet paper and a diet of noodle blocks 3 times a day. I cannot promise having a part-time job will fix your life, but it will definitely make it easier from the financial side of things. Your student debt can be decreased. As an international student, I had no tuition or maintenance fee, which means I paid for my accommodation for the entirety of the undergrad and postgrad course duration. Wages from my part-time job were enough, barely, but nonetheless, to cover the student accommodation costs. And you can do this too. The validity of this life decision is, of course, questionable and will greatly vary on individual basis. However, if you are like me and have no option but to seek stable income, part-time job is a thing for you. Supplement your CV. Regardless of where your life leads you, employers of any field like to see you as a hard-working individual with an outstanding work ethic who can and will commit to the job they're interviewing you for. Now, of course, the primary skills you may have obtained while operating a KFC deep fryer may not necessarily apply to your dream occupation, but the secondary skills like work ethic, stamina, reliability, punctuality all serve to your future employer with the source of showing that what you've got is relevant to your prospective position can go a long way. You will know more people. Sometimes they'll even be useful. I must admit that a correctly picked customer service job will help you expand your social and, potentially, even professional network. For example, the closest thing I ever came to aligning my student tough times with my professional interests was when I landed a glamorous bog-scraping job at the York Theatre Royal. Despite the implications of such endeavor, the things I have seen, in a week I knew an entire self-building and lighting engineering team, as well as a writer and a bunch of independent actors, and even had some of them added to my Instagram. My point is, if you have to side hustle but your qualifications are still baking, remember that almost every place needs cleaners and caterers, and it's always easier to make the moves once you're inside, if you catch my drift. Timeless skills should things go south. As someone who has done all the customer service job types under the sun, I can assure you, if you've done one, you've done them all. Once you're trained to operate a professional coffee machine, that's stuck with you forever. A few minor differences aside, all these fun little skills will work effectively in McDonald's or in Riz equally. If you've made it into the university, you should know by now life can be unpredictable. You may be a CEO today and be bankrupt tomorrow. So in the future, should life look you dead in the eyes and swiftly kick you in your genitals, you know you can always pay your rent by punching clock in your local pub while looking for your next big break. On this note, I would like to stress a few potential cons to consider when deciding whether a part-time job is worth it for you. It can interfere with your studies. Maintaining a part-time job while being a full-time student can put your organizational abilities to a serious test. You will have significantly more obligations to consider when composing your weekly timetable. You will have to see which days and times you can realistically dedicate to working. You will have to take your studying tempo in account. You will have to keep in mind your other commitments. I discourage you from letting the fear of a new challenge to put you off. This is the only way we can grow as people. But I do encourage serious and careful weighting of all the buts before so much as filling out job applications. If you are to pick up a part-time job, you must be acutely aware of your limits. Make sure you are not devoured. If you started your job months ago knowing you don't need to do more than 15 hours a week to be happy and maintain balance in your studies, and today your manager is trying to bully you into picking another shift on top of your now 45 hours a week schedule, do reflect on your life choices and think, what are you doing? I knew a guy back in Mackey's who got bullied into dropping out of applied mathematics undergrad to wrap hamburgers full time. He was a bright lad but not strong enough to resist the corporate greed for the fresh meat. On the other hand, another lad was working with us. He was earning money to kickstart his own business. Point is, see what works for you and nobody else. Be a bad bitch. Overall, fulfill your financial needs for all the happiness' sake. But don't forget this, although there is nothing wrong with any sort of job, you must keep in mind what it is you want in life. Don't make your customer service jobs your comfort zone unless you know this is where you want to be. Not your manager, not your boss, you and you alone. But most importantly, stay kind to yourself, your colleagues, and your good managers, because they are people too, unless you have a reason not to. Stay critical, remember who you are, and eyes on the prize, everyone.